I get this question a lot. When should I go to Disneyland? When is it the busiest? When is it empty? Should I go during Halloween time, Christmas time? It's a big question that deserves a big answer, so stick with me today because we have a lot of information to go through. So you can figure out when will be the best time for you to go to the parks this year in 2023. Here we go. 2023 is going to be a big year for Disneyland since Disney will be celebrating its 100 years of animation. They have some big plans in store, and Disneyland seems to be the hub of it all. And with that comes exciting new rides, new shows, but also more crowds during historically low and less crowded times. It might be a little bit confusing to plan your trip this year. And while we all love the idea of going to Disneyland when it's a ghost town, there are some benefits of going during the super busy times. I'll talk more about this throughout the video, plus a lot more. Here we go, let's get started. January. Always plan on the first week of January being very busy still. It's still the holidays, there's still a lot of people vacationing, and they usually keep the decorations up until about the 9th or so. After the holidays go down, you will start to see rides getting closed down for refurb season. This is when they start to fix and work on and improve the rides. Plus you'll see the parades and the fireworks kind of taking a break, showing up a lot less throughout the week. Starting January 9th, California residents can get discounted tickets for the weekdays until May 25th. So this leads me to my very first tip, and that's weekdays are surprisingly busy in Disneyland parks now. Thanks to the reservation system and the Magic Keys annual passes that only allow weekday visits. Weekdays are, especially Mondays for some reason, tend to be the most busy days as locals pop in and out of the parks after work. Also, there's just a lot more people working remotely that can move their work days around. So, I don't know. It's just one of those things, so look out for that. January 12th will be Anaheim Ducks Day. This is when the team shows up in DCA and people can do photo ops and all kinds of things. Generally, it's just really busy in that park in the afternoon on that day. On January 20th starts the Lunar New Year celebration, and it goes all the way until February 15th. I love this celebration. I think it's really fun and special. I'm not entirely sure all the events and the entertainment that they'll be bringing back this year. I'm sure they'll bring back this cavalcade. I really hope they bring back the live performances. They are absolutely beautiful. There's just like a lot of educational things about different cultures. It's just a really fun time. I enjoy it. Of course, there's, special food involved. I 100% suggest to check it out and don't just overlook this event. It's really fun. The crowds will really start to pick up come January 27th when a lot of things happen. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway opens before the reopening of the all-new Toontown. Also, the Wondrous Journeys fireworks show gets started, where you are going to be taken through 100 years of Disney animation. The new World of Color 1 will also debut on this day. The starting of these shows marks the beginning of Disney's celebration of 100 years of animation. And you will see so much merch and food surrounding this event all throughout the year. Like I mentioned before, there's going to be a lot of ride closures, so make sure if that's something that's important to you to check ahead of time, check on the Disney app, make sure your rides are going. So yes, you'll probably have lower crowds in mid-January, but it's also when you have more closures and less entertainment than the rest of the year, so watch out for that. The weather in January will still probably be pretty chilly and rainy, so bring those rain jackets and umbrellas and make sure you bring plenty of layers and hats so you're not caught off guard and freezing cold for your whole vacation. February. Early February may still be more crowded than usual thanks to the new rides and the new shows that have come around. You will also have a lot of ride closures still. And then, of course, Sweethearts Nights, which is a special ticketed event that is already sold out. This will mean the park will close down early those nights, and you will get kicked out if you are not a guest with a ticket. So plan accordingly on those dates. Make sure you either have a hopper pass or go to DCA on those days. Sweethearts Night is like any other After Dark special ticket event where attendees will enjoy a less crowded park with themed entertainment, food, photo ops. The dates are January 31st, February 2nd, 4th, 5th, 7th, 9th, 14th, and 16th. Disneyland proper will close early on those nights, so be aware. Also in February, you will see a little sprinkling of Valentine and love-themed decorations and treats throughout the parks. It still probably shouldn't be too busy mid-February, even though those events are going on. Disneyland will be re-welcoming their newest parade, or at least the newest parade that they had just started right before the world shut down in 2020. This will be on February 24th when the Magic Happens parade comes back to Disneyland. Expect an afternoon and an evening show each day, and again, expect the park to be crowded on that day as people are excited to welcome that parade back. This parade is a fun and creative parade with beautiful floats and catchy songs, a must-see for sure. In February, you may still get some rain and chilly nights, but it should start to warm up quite a bit and become more spring-like. Just remember to wear layers and bring some waterproof gear just in case. I'd plan on this March being pretty busy. Spring break and the Food and Wine Festival and then Toontown reopening, I just don't think you're going to see many down days in this month. That being said, let's look at some of the dates of note. On the 3rd, it kicks off the Food and Wine Festival over in Disney California Adventure, and that runs all the way to April 25th. You'll find this event going on around the park, mostly through the main walkway that goes in between all of the lands, with little food huts offering various foods, usually celebrating California cuisine as well as wine and drink offerings. This is available to everyone who's in DCA. It's not a special ticketed event per se. You'll also see some extra food-related entertainment going on connected to this event. Expect Disney's California Adventure reservations to book up pretty fast and be busier at this time of year. If you're a foodie, you may want to consider checking this one out. On the 7th and the 9th, there is a new ticketed special event. This is an After Dark event called Princess Nights. This is a separate ticketed event, and you can buy those tickets right now on Disneyland's website. I would imagine themed food, entertainment, of course plenty of photo ops, and I'm sure many people dressed up as princesses for this event. Sandwiched in the middle of this event will be the official reopening of Toontown over in Disneyland. Since its closure, Disneyland hasn't been super toddler friendly, so I'm really excited to see its return with what looks to be an even more, toddler appropriate setup. And a great place for you to take your little ones to get out of the stroller, let them get their wiggles out, maybe even splash in some water. It looks really ADA friendly, so I think it's going to be spectacular. The reopening of this town will bring the crowds though, so beware. For the rest of March, expect the park to get busier and busier, with the busiest probably being the very last week of March due to kids being on spring break. Weather in March becomes more mild and pleasant. You'll need a sweater or a jacket in the morning and evenings, but the day should be really nice, not too hot, not too cold. Maybe a little bit of rain here or there, but shouldn't be too bad. April, plan on the first week of April still being really pretty busy with the last of the spring break crowds, even though a lot of the annual passes will be blacked out this week. It will still be pretty busy. Probably leading up all the way to Easter Sunday, which is on the 9th. You'll see sprinkles of spring-themed treats and merchandise, as well as a fun little Easter egg scavenger hunt that you can participate in throughout the park. Springtime in Disneyland is absolutely beautiful. Everything's in full bloom. There's flowers everywhere. The weather's really mild, maybe just a little bit of a sprinkle here or there, but it is one of the best times to go. It is so beautiful. And after Easter, you really should see the crowds lightening up quite a bit as everyone goes back for the last push of school. There is one date that will be very busy, and that's a special unofficial holiday that we see every once in a while in Disneyland. It's called Dapper Days. Dapper Days is when everybody dresses to the nines in their old vintage 1930s and 40s and 50s getup, and they come to Disneyland to be fancy, to have a party. It's just so fun. There will be a lot of Mary Poppins-esque things going on. It's a fun event, but also very busy, so look out for that one. Speaking of Mary Poppins, I'll just leave you with this little snippet for a second to get you excited for springtime in Disneyland. Early May should see really light crowds, not too much going on there, besides May the 4th, because of Star Wars Day. Now, Disneyland hasn't announced an official party for this year yet, but if they do, be ready for that to be an after dark event. And if not, you will still have a large amount of Star Wars fans coming out in droves, not drones, but droves, to the park that day to do all things Star Wars, to celebrate and have fun. Come mid-May, the crowds will start to pick up again as schools conclude and Grad Night starts. This is a special ticketed event for local students whose schools sell the tickets. The dates are the 12th, 14th, 17th, 19th, 21st, 24th, 25th, 30th, and 31st. They get to enter DCA after closing those nights, and it gives them a place to celebrate their graduation in kind of a safe, controlled environment with fun theming. They also have the opportunity to buy discounted tickets at the same time, so expect excited teens taking over the parks around those dates. And of course, Memorial Day, the 29th, and the weekend surrounding it will be busier as well. Weather in May is usually really beautiful, with some warmer summer-like days sneaking in, but really most days are quite pleasant. June is the beginning of the busy summer season, with several grad nights on the 2nd, 4th, 7th, 9th, 14th, and 16th, and the family vacation crowds will come rolling in, as well as those infamous sunny California days. But so will blackout dates for some of the annual passes. The upside to going in the summer, although crowded, you will get Disneyland in full swing. Shows all day, characters everywhere, little to no ride closures, fireworks every night as long as it's not windy, early opening hours and late closing times, and you'll have your classic Disneyland experience going on. You just need to plan ahead and expect the crowds. I suggest going early, like open the park early, go back to your hotel in the afternoon for a little nap, little pool time, and then close the park out. It is always less hot and less crowded at opening and closing times. These are what I call the magic hours of the park. The weather will be hot, so bring water, wear sunscreen, and remember to reapply it, and eat plenty of frozen treats. July will continue to be very busy and hot as well, with the 4th of July being extra busy, and I'm sure we'll provide an extra patriotic fireworks show with a sprinkle of themed merch and food. Another sneaky crowd date is July 17th because it's Disneyland's birthday. So fans and locals will be at the park that day to partake in the extra little celebrations they may have that day. This year will mark Disneyland's 68th birthday. The park should be going full steam high peak season, with minimal closures and plenty of heat. August is interesting. Early August may still be a little bit busy from summer crowds, people still going on vacation, but you may also get enough kiddos starting to go back to school that it will lighten up a little bit. You also have the Magic Key annual passes blacked out during this time still, so it might be surprisingly low. It's hard to tell. Mid-August, Magic Key annual passes come back from that summer blackout time. Some are the 14th and some stop being blacked out on the 22nd. So you'll start to see some of those dates start to pick up in the middle of the weeks there. Preparations for Halloween will begin, so you'll start to see Haunted Mansion close as it gets its Nightmare Before Christmas overlay for the holiday season. The Redwood Creek Trail will close down for quite a while to prepare for Villains Grove. And you'll see just a little bit of Halloween decor start to pop up towards the end of August because it just takes a really long time to decorate a park. So my guess is none of the days will be super busy. After like the first week, we went in late August last year and it was pretty chill, except on the night that was the last night of the electrical parade, for obvious reasons. But of course, August will be super hot. As long as you are not wet from a ride at nighttime, you should be good. You probably won't even need a jacket. So just remember your sunscreen and to stay hydrated. September marks the beginning of the Halloween season at the parks. Disneyland will be decked out in a more traditional fall decor of orange and yellow fall leaves and pumpkins, and DCA will be more of a purple, green, and black, following along with the Nightmare Before Christmas theming, since DCA is where the Oogie Boogie Bash parties are held. You'll see a lot going on in Pixar Pier and Frontierland for Dia de los Muertos, with a focus on Coco and also just a focus on Hispanic culture. We always look forward to this, especially all of the tasty Mexican food that pops up at this time. Let's talk Oogie Boogie Bash, because even if you're not planning to attend this event, it affects every aspect of the parks in September and October. Oogie Boogie Bash is on select nights throughout September and October, usually starting on the first Tuesday or Thursday in September. The first week tends to be a little bit more crowded because you have the Disney bloggers and super fans flocking to get the first scoop. So you will see a little bit more crowds then. But if you want to attend this event, you need to plan ahead. They usually announce the dates May or June, and last year the tickets went on sale June 30th and sold out in 3 days. I was in the virtual queue on June 30th for like 4 hours. So you're going to have to be prepared for that. The ticket prices usually range from about $130 to around the $200s mark, depending on how popular they anticipate that night being. A ticket will allow you entrance into Disney California Adventure Park 2 to 3 hours before the party starts, usually around 7, sometimes at 6, and it goes to midnight. Those without a party wristband will be kicked out of the park before the party starts, and trust me, they will kick you out. I have seen it, so you do not want to do that. So naturally, Disneyland gets really crowded when everyone gets kicked out of DCA who's not going to the party. Historically, the parties have been on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from September to October 31st, and I don't see why it would be any different this year. I love this event. There are so many really unique offerings, from trick-or-treating to unique character experiences, but watch out, because those villains can be sassy. I saw Sid the Kid from Toy Story handing out some really sick burns. The Villains Grove is an absolute must-see in my book, if you ask me, and the parade with the real Headless Horseman leading the way is a really unique experience that's a memory maker for sure.
Headless horseman on a midnight steed. He's searching for somebody to supply his cursed need. Scurry faster, schoolmaster. Tonight you're not alone. The horseman's riding after you. It's time that you head home. It's Halloween.
This is the one and only time that adults can wear head-to-toe costumes at Disneyland, so you get some really fun costumes going on. And you, from the trick-or-treating, you will get more candy than you know what to deal with. It's a lot. We ate throughout the whole night and still had tons left. If you're not doing Oogie Boogie, I highly recommend catching DCA on a Friday or Saturday night, so you can really see how the park comes to life at night. It's really something else. Cars Land is all completely decked out in all things spooky, and the Headless Horseman statue in the hub of Main Street is a must-see. Make sure to catch the fireworks show on Main Street in Disneyland on the weekends, as long as the weather's permitting. You'll see characters in cute little Halloween costumes, along with pumpkin spice everything, and Halloween treats and merch galore. Fans of Halloween will truly be in heaven at Disneyland this time of year. September is the least busy of the Halloween season, with the exception of Gay Days. This is going to be September 22nd through the 24th this year. This is an unofficial holiday, although you'll see rainbow merch and food pop up around the parks at this time. On these days, people will be at the parks to support and celebrate those who are part of the LGBTQIA+ community. These are very busy days at the park, but I will say this: it's the most kind and happy crowds I've ever encountered in Disneyland. It really is one collective party on those days. You just need to bring a lot of patience and love on those days. And if you see a rainbow cake, buy the slice, buy it and eat it, because I'm still dreaming about that cake. September weather is surprisingly hot. I think people think it's fall and they get surprised by the heat when they show up in their plaid shirt or their really hot Halloween costume for one of the parties. It is still really hot in September on most days, so be prepared for that. October is same as September as far as events and celebrations are concerned. Those just continue throughout October, but the crowds really pick up this month, especially the second week and the third weekend due to fall breaks. People talk about Christmas being busy, but this is just as busy, if not more so, at least in my experience. Or maybe it just feels more busy because it's hotter in October than it is in December. Halloween night isn't quite as busy as you think it would be, though, so that might be a little loophole for you. You'll also see some rides with Halloween theming going on with it. Those are Guardians of the Galaxy, a couple of the kiddie rides in Cars Land, and of course Haunted Mansion is in its holiday swing. You will also see It's a Small World close down sometime towards the end of October to prepare for the Christmas season. November. Early November, you'll see an immediate switch from Halloween to Christmas. If you plan your trip right, you can even hit both holidays in one trip. It's really cool. The first 3 weeks of November are usually pretty calm, with the official holiday season usually starting somewhere in the second week of November. We'll talk more on that later. The Festival of Holidays also starts around that time in Disney's California Adventure, and of course, the week of Thanksgiving is usually really busy with large groups of families flocking to the parks during school and work breaks. You'll usually see the last week of November calm back down again though. Weather in November starts to cool down to jacket weather again. Really what you want to do is be prepared for many temperature changes throughout the day, so you're prepared for the different temperature fluctuations throughout the day. For the month of December, bring on the cheer, the gingerbread, and oh, those chilly nights, and bring on the crowds of large groups of people with their families and friends. The first 2 weeks in December are the best bets for lower crowds. The formula is each week gets busier than the last week, all month long. There are so many things to do during the holiday season at Disneyland. It's hard to even list them all. Of course, Christmas and holiday decor is throughout both parks, starting in November and all the way till the beginning, almost the middle of January. Characters in their adorable holiday attire that you can't resist hugging. Of course, you could see Santa Claus in both parks, which is super fun. And the Christmas parade in Disneyland is a must-do, in my opinion. Fireworks, complete with falling snow at the end, the magical lighting of the castle. The entertaining projections they put on It's a Small World. Rides throughout the park that get a special Christmas theme overlay on them, and a special heartwarming holiday version of The World of Color.
Although it's been said many times, many ways, Mary.
Over at DCA, they have the Festival of the Holidays going on. They have all kinds of extra food booths, and the entertainment celebrating cultures from around the world is my absolute favorite. Especially the Viva Navidad celebrations. It's like a big street party. It's my favorite. There's a reason people love to go to Disneyland this time of year. Just get those dining reservations as soon as possible. Layer up because it can be warm in the afternoon, but freezing at night, especially if you're by the water for a night show like World of Color or Fantasmic. And expect to be crowded with large groups who are having family meetings in the middle of main walkways. It's crazy, but you just have to embrace it. And you know what? You just go with it. Embrace the craziness, relish in the magic moments, and don't forget that you're in Disneyland right now, and there's plenty of people in the world that would trade you places in an instant if they could. So try to just enjoy the moments and be kind to others, especially to the cast members who work so hard to keep Disneyland going day in and day out. Thank you, you guys. And thank you to all you. If you're still with me, thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope this was helpful. Go ahead and leave a comment of your favorite time to visit Disneyland. Give me a like and a subscribe if you found this helpful. Be kind to each other. And we'll see you again real soon.